Hello, everyone, and welcome to episode 242 of Sold with Updike Pugh.
I'm Jeff Updike.
I'm Weston Pugh, and today we have a really great house over in northwest Dallas, just kind of around the corner from me, close to North Haven Trail that you do not want to miss.
And in our second segment, we are going to talk about, are investors still in the market? We'll see.
Yeah, I know.
I've got some second quarter stats to show.
So. You've got stats. Yes, I think we all know what that story is, but it'll be a good one. It will be a good one. So we are still enduring some of these crazy heats here in Texas. So I actually left Texas last week and enjoyed some of the Cape Cod weather, which was really nice. And you know what's really interesting is that, so kind of like looking at real estate from, you know, what we have here in Dallas, and it seems like it's always kind of like creeping forward. The Cape is really interesting up there too, because it's kind of become pretty popular with different groups. And people are buying more than they need up there, so that when they come up there and visit, that all of their friends have a place to stay. And it's kind of put a little bit of a kink in that market. And part of me thinks that that kink in the market displaces people who service the entire town. And so I noticed that lots of the places that we went to, there were lots of the now hiring signs. And, you know, we'd go in and have a beer in the afternoon, and there'd be the bartender, and then the next day you'd see him, or the same day you'd see him, you know, selling, you know, T-shirts at another place. And I thought,
really?
Wow, they are really spread thin there. It was very interesting. Beautiful place. I should have brought pictures. It was a great time. Interesting climate, I would say that. Lots of great lobster. Had so much lobster.
And you went to Wrigley Field?
I did. I went to Fenway Park.
Oh, Fenway Park. Wrigley Field, Chicago. Sorry.
And you know what? It was very interesting because I felt like there was a scuttlebutt for a little while where they were talking about how somehow the Rangers were going to come into Uptown somewhere and create like this walkable configuration for that. And I think they missed it completely by not figuring out how to get that happen, because it was so interesting to be able to like go walk, you know, through the harbor and then come up through Little Italy, and then you're right there at Wrigley Field. You get done, you come back out. It was really amazing. And I thought, wow, we had totally whiffed that one. Arlington's got it, great, but it would have been beautiful in Uptown.
There, it's in Fair Park, I think is what we're talking about, right?
You know, I had heard there, but what is also that area that was down there at the beginning of Uptown, or downtown on the Harry Hines side, where the Spanish Park was?
Little Mexico.
There's a field back in there, and I thought that they were talking about somehow working it into that so that it would connect to the Katy Trail and make the Katy Trail a conduit actually to it as well, which, man, I'd love that.
That'd be interesting.
It would have been. Coulda, woulda, shoulda.
That's exactly what I was thinking.
Now we've got two ballparks over there.
Have you been on vacation?
I have been on vacation. You did a great job with the show last week. You and Zach both did a really great job.
Thank you.
I really like those numbers that y'all did, those lit numbers.
Yeah.
I thought those were really good. You did a great job with that.
Thanks. Thank you.
Good job. It's tough doing this all by yourself.
It is.
A lot of words.
It's a lot of words. A lot of words coming out, and there's nobody to jump in when you're.
I felt like that was the big thing when I was like, oh my gosh, we got done, and I was like, that was ridiculous. I never talked that much. Don't say anything.
I didn't do anything but go to pool parties this weekend. It's like, you know, it's not really the last summer of the pool parties, but a lot of people are thinking it was. I know 3 of the pools I got into were colder than I thought they would be.
That makes me want to go get in mine, because I'm like, is it going to be that much cooler now? Because it's 74 this morning?
Yeah, it was beautiful.
It was really great. So, well, let's talk about some real estate market. So what we like to do is talk about what's happened in Dallas County over the last 7 days. And we're going to take a look at a couple of the different statuses. And the first one is not required. It's called coming soon. And it's a way for agents to signify that they have something coming on the market. And that looks like it's up 3% to 69, which is 2 over last week. New active listings. So this is everything that's in the Dallas County. And it's up 9% to 443, which is great. We love to see that tick up. And option periods. This is when everything has been agreed upon. And now we're doing our inspections. And that is also up 4% to 291, which is 10 over last week.
And pendings were down last week, down 31%. You know, there's probably was that still that end of summer, or I'm sorry, the start of school, end of summer lull. The closed properties were down by 2% last week also, but excuse me, there were 316 sold homes in Dallas County last week.
That is a lot. That is great. And then also rates.
Oh, mortgage rates too. Yeah, they've actually taken a little bit of a dip. It's not, dramatic or anything. They're not below 7%, but they're 7.084. And that number comes from Optimal Blue, which is not a mortgage company. They just aggregate data and kind of tell you what people are paying around the country.
I thought it was interesting that while I was gone, they went up to 7.27, and now they're down to 7.0, basically 1.
Yeah.
That is a pretty good dip. We'll see how that goes. It's interesting. We were talking with Grant while we were photographing another one of the houses this week, and he got in 2 years ago, and he was low 5s. It's interesting how fast this changes. So let's talk about another thing that changes, and that's 3316 Galahad Drive. This is a great house. It is a single story that's been remodeled to also take advantage of its upstairs space to give you one more bathroom and bedroom, which is a really great use of that space.
And it's such a great location. This is in Sparkman Club Estates, which is in that northwest section of Dallas. Just a really super friendly part of town. Access is great. You've got so many different ways to access I-35 and 635. And if you need to go to DFW Airport, this is like literally a 20-minute drive.
Yeah, and if you want to head to Love Field, just drop in, head south on, I guess, Walnut Hill and cross over when you get down to Love Field and jump on. That is also probably going to be a 10-minute commute to there. 635 will be really great for you as well. 35 also has the express lanes now up and down that make really great sense. Also, heading over to Fort Worth will get you there by 183. 183 also has express lanes. So if you're not familiar with here, this is a great jumping off point. Going west is very, very simple.
Really is. Great location. A couple of things in the neighborhood that we wanted to point out. One is you have really convenient access to Central Market. Central Market, the closest location is at the corner of Preston and Royal. There is another location down on Northwest Highway and Midway that is probably equidistant with this one, but this is the Central Market that was rebuilt after the tornadoes came through. It is one of their smaller footprint stores, but I've never gone in there and not found what I'm looking for.
These are both great stores. If you're not from Texas, these are actually from South Texas. Harold E. Butts started these things. San Antonio was the first place that had a Central Market. One of my friends was actually interviewed by the paper, and he said that now that we have a Central Market, he can throw his refrigerator in his front yard. They're really great. If you haven't been to them, they're excellent. One of the other things that is of interest in this area, if you're a local, you know about Casa Navarro. And this is one of the small little Tex-Mex restaurants, not a chain. And you will see Jeff and Adrian here from time to time on Thursday nights, I believe.
Sometimes Tuesday night, Thursday night,
Wednesday nights.
Yeah, sometimes Wednesday night.
It's a great little place. This is where if you are into Tex-Mex, let me finish my thought. I saw that margarita and I totally shifted. Did you see that happen in real time? It was a great little Tex-Mex. And Jeff, are the margaritas good?
The margaritas are good.
That is Jeff. If you know Jeff, you know that he bases the value of a Mexican restaurant on not their fajitas, not their chips and hot sauce, but the quality of their margarita. Everything else can be crap, but if you have a good margarita, he'll be back. It's
That is
so
correct.
funny.
It is correct. It's
Good times.
So the last thing we were going to talk about was Dallas College, and this is part of what was formerly called the Dallas Community College District. One of the campuses, Brookhaven, is right there, just north of this by 2 miles, maybe 2 miles, really.
2 miles max, yeah.
But such a great campus.
It really is. And the other thing, too, is that they have an excellent ceramics department. So if you're interested in taking ceramics, they have great classes on Tuesday and Thursday night. That is Jason, who's the instructor. Du Chow will also be instructing on Saturday morning from 9 until 3. They also have a class on Wednesday or Sunday from the exact same time. One of the things you need to know is that those classes fill up pretty quickly. If you haven't already taken a class there or are currently registered, you have to wait 7 days past the first date people can register. So put it on your calendar, watch for this. Lots of really great art classes available. If you're not into ceramics, they've got sculpture, woodworking. They have a really great iron class. I see those guys out there.
Interesting. I hadn't thought about that.
And they always are in the evening, in the mornings, and you can hear them ba-bam, ba-bam, ba-bam as they're hammering everything up. But it's really
Do
great
they
place.
do welding and torches and things like that, or is it really just?
I think they have a welding class separate from this. I do know that the instructor will weld if he needs it, but they are like coals, hot iron, pounding. So it's very interesting.
I don't think I want to do that. I took a welding class at a Creative Arts Center one time, and I really enjoyed it.
You did, and that is a tough.
Yeah.
And you know what's so crazy is that one of the agents in our office, her daughter is a certified welder, has just completed everything, which I think kudos to her. Weld like a woman. That's what I want to say. Weld like a woman. She can do it.
Funny. So let's jump into our house. This is 3316 Galahad Drive. A really great drive up on this house. It's a 4-bedroom, 3 full bath, 2-car garage, rear entry, and it's about 2,800 square feet, priced at $995.
So when you walk into the house, I love the fact that they have taken and opened this up. And this is the way a lot of buyers want to live in their house today. Families have figured out that it's easier to see everybody at one quick glance. Also for entertaining, this is one of those houses that actually allows you to reconfigure based on what's happening. So if it's a slumber party and you need the TV, or if it's a big event for the Thanksgiving, you have room for everybody to hang out, and it worked perfectly.
It does. I like the way that the dining room is really well defined, even though there's not any walls really around it. It opens back up into the kitchen, granite countertops, undermount sink, great selection of appliances. I love the white cabinetry in there.
They did a great job. So I get really hung up when I don't feel like a house is done symmetrically, and it just kind of throws me off. I do not like corners and stuff. This one flows perfectly. And one of the things it flows into is a really oversized utility room, and utility rooms are so important today. And then across from that is this really great office, which I thought was wonderful in the fact that it had a slider that opened up to a really nice screen porch.
And this is one of the guest bedrooms. There is a Jack and Jill bath that we'll get to in just a minute, but this is on the front of the house. And
then this is the master bathroom.
This is the master bathroom. I am so sorry I got these out of order, I think, but really a great master bath, double sink vanity, really good sized room. I believe this is the other guest room, if I'm not mistaken.
Right at the front house.
Yeah, on the front.
And then when you go upstairs, this was a very smart use of the space. We're not going to see the bathroom here, but this is a very long space because, again, it is the attic. It has the nice dormers that add additional light, and there's also a bathroom upstairs.
And this is that screened-in back porch we were talking about. A little bit of a vaulted ceiling, which I think gives it a little bit of volume in there. The double fans are really going to make a difference on those fall afternoons that it's, you don't want to run the air conditioner, but you don't really, you don't want to sweat.
I get it.
Outdoor space with a fire pit, really inviting. And there's I said rear entry, the garage is kind of a swing load entry on the side.
But I like the fact that it also has gated so that you're able to close that off. If you want to see more about how this house lays out, this is a really great and helpful floor plan. So this is 3316 Galahad. It is a 4-bedroom, 3 full bath, 2-car garage. It's built in 1960, just at 2,850 square feet, priced at $995,000, which comes in at the rock bottom price of $349,000.
And we'd like to say thank you to Patricia Massey for letting us talk about her home today. If there's any other photos you'd like to see, just click on the links below. I think we've got quite a few we didn't get to use. If you would like to see the house, please reach out to us and let us know. We can make that happen. With that, we'll be right back. Did you know there are a lot of ways you can keep up with us? For starters, every Wednesday at noon, we host Sold with Updike Pugh, live from our Facebook and YouTube channels. Our show is dedicated to featuring some of the best homes in the Dallas market and about sharing timely information about market trends. But don't worry if you missed the show, because you can always listen to them on SoundCloud, iTunes, and Spotify.
Still want more? Follow us on Instagram, where you get a first-hand look at what it's like to be a realtor. And it's not always previewing homes for clients or getting them ready to go live in MLS. Lastly, visit our website and you'll be able to create a custom home search tailored specifically to your wants and needs that's timely and accurate. Whether it's square foot, location, or the neighborhood, we have you covered.
If you'd like to know how much your home is worth, we can help with that too. Just visit homeprice.fyi, enter a few pieces of information like your home address, and we'll email you a price. When you're ready to talk real estate, you can reach us online, by phone, or by text at 214-377-2223.
And remember, we want to be realtors for life.
Hi everybody, welcome to the second segment, episode 242 of Sold with Updike Pugh. I'm Jeff Updike.
I'm Weston Pugh, and today we thought it'd be really interesting to take a look and ask the question, are investors still in the market?
And we have data to show whether they are or not.
We have data, but we also have, so the data that we're going to talk about is like national.
Yes.
Correct?
Yes, it is.
And so we're not going to like burrow into what is happening local, but I can say just in the closings that we had last month and the closings that we've had this month, we are doing transactions with investors right now.
Yes, absolutely.
And they are, I am excited to say that the investors that we have been working with are putting quality forward. And
I would agree.
I think that, your data is going to support this, but the people that just wanted to turn a buck and turn it fast have been sifted out of the market.
Yes, they have. It's so easy for people to spot, even if they're not, like seasoned homeowners. It's so easy to spot the bad ones from the good ones.
And it's not always. Sometimes it's just a sense of it. Like stuff all of a sudden starts to add up. You're like, oh, it's just cheap. They just went too fast. They didn't care about the quality and what's going to happen in 6 months.
So on our first slide, one of the things you're going to see is that in the second quarter, there was this notable 45% decrease in investor home purchases compared to that same period in the prior year. This decline exceeds the 31% drop in overall home sales, marking the most significant decrease since 2008. And this decline can be attributed to the relatively subdued housing and rental markets this year, making home investment less appealing compared to the frenzy of all the pandemic buying that took place.
I'm okay with less frenzy.
Yeah.
I have to say that up front. I am okay with that. If things want to slow down and let everybody catch their breath and reset, yes, I'll take a little bit of that. We're also going to look at the second slide, and this one, the decrease in purchase means that the investors have bought fewer homes than they did before the pandemic. In the second quarter, real estate investors purchased around 50,000 homes in the United States, which is the lowest number for homes a second quarter in 7 years, except for the beginning of the pandemic.
So it really kind of took an up right there at the beginning of the pandemic, and then we took a little bit of a down, then a little minute back up, and now we've really seen the numbers of those come down.
And I think locally, the investors might be on a little bit of a throttle back because it looks like Airbnbs are going to be penalized.
I feel like, a lot of this I think is happening because Airbnbs have become either outlawed or just unpopular. I think lots of municipalities have taken the absolute wrong approach to those. But the second thing I think is this market is going to continue to, like the numbers are going to continue to decline. And I think this is going to shove more property into the market come spring next year. And
that would be great.
It would be. The third slide is, this is regarding market share. During the second quarter in the U.S., investors purchased 15.6% of the homes that were sold. And this is a decrease from almost 20% compared to the previous year, and a decline from the record high of 20.4% observed at the start of 2022.
That is a lot. Well, we're going to take a look now at slide number 4, and this is the price tier. So this is what investment market share looks like. And in the second quarter, investors acquired 23% of the low-priced homes sold, which is a slight decrease from the 25% they purchased the previous year. However, it is still considerably higher than the share of more expensive homes they bought. For middle-priced homes, their share dropped from 19% the previous year to 11%. In the case of high-priced homes, their shares decreased from 16 to 14% year to compare earlier.
And this is kind of a hard slide to really understand because, again, it is national numbers. They've broken, this is talking about the price points that investors bought in. Low price, obviously, like in our market, I would say the low end price is going to be anything under 400. Mid price is probably going to be 400 to $1 million, and then high prices over $1 million. But this is comparing the number of investors to the entire number of houses that sold out there.
And I have to say, at first, I was really surprised that the high priced had stepped up, in second place.
Mm-hmm.
I thought that was random. But if you think about the house that we just talked about, that's $1 million home.
Mm-hmm.
And the last ownership could have been seen as an investment home ownership. And that would have been considered high price at that point. And we're just seeing more houses, I guess, in this area that are, not going to be torn down, but are going to be completely renovated.
Mm-hmm.
And when they're renovated, they're 1.4 million. I mean, think about when we did North Haven with Brian and Jack did that house.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, amazing.
It is. So this slide looked at the overall market. The last slide that we're going to look at is just talking about the number of investor homes or investor purchases. So in the second quarter, the low-priced homes accounted for 46% of the homes that investors bought. So of all the homes that the investors bought, 46% were in that low price point. Makes perfect sense because that low price point is the largest pool of buyers out there.
Yep.
This is an increase from 39% the previous year. On the other hand, high-priced homes made up 31% of investor purchases, which is up from 29% the year before. Also, the increase in the purchase of both the most affordable and the most expensive has reduced the proportion of mid-priced homes that investors are buying. Mid-priced homes now represent only 23% of investor purchases, which is down from a near record high of 32% last year.
32%, that is off the charts.
To me, it's like that. It's like the middle price point is just getting squeezed and squeezed.
We were showing earlier this year, we were showing one of my good friends from high school a house that was a duplex. And we all thought it was a little bit overpriced given the condition that it was in. And we just said, we're going to pass on it just because it was a complete investment property. And it actually went for $75,000 over all cash.
Wow.
So it's still a very interesting market. I think that those four-leaf clovers, when they show up, or those unicorns, you really have to be ready to act and act fast on them.
I agree. So if you have any other topics you'd like for us to discuss, just drop a line. We'd be happy to make that happen.
And just remember, we want to be your realtors for life.
When you're ready to talk real estate, you can reach us online, by phone, or by text at 214-377-2223.
And remember, we want to be your realtors for life.